Good morning, fellow Phoenixes. It is I, Marlene. It is 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and of course, I'm awake. You know, when you're bedbound recovering from a major illness, it gives you time to think about a lot of things. And, well, I was keeping myself awake thinking about things, and I said, you know what? Now would probably be a good time to record a video and share my thoughts with the rest of you, my wonderful audience. Well, before we get started, I do want to give a big shout out once again to Naomi over at Naomi's Palace. I really like what she does with her channel. I like her videos, and I feel like I have a lot in common with her. Honestly, I think if she and I were to have a direct one-on-one conversation, we would probably end up being good friends. So, I will very shortly, within the next couple videos, be devoting some time to address a couple points that Naomi has made in some of her recent posts, because I wanted to expand upon a couple things that she said that really resonated with me and that I totally agree with her on. Now that I have gotten my shout out of the way, let's focus on mental capacity for this video. As you all know from my first video, I am recovering from a stroke and kidney failure. And I have to say that yes, my memory is patchy here and there. I have to say also that there are times when I'm speaking to someone that my words get jumbled in my head and I cannot effectively have them articulate properly, we'll say that way. And maybe it makes me sound not as intelligent as I should sound. Something happened today that I know I'm being oversensitive about, but it has had me thinking about mental capacity and some of the decisions that I have recently made and decisions that most likely will be coming up in the future. The situation that happened centered around me listening to a news piece that my husband was playing on his television in the next room, and it was discussing, we'll just say, current national leadership and their flaws. And just to give you a little background, I do have several college degrees, some at the master's and doctoral level, and I am very well educated in constitutional history and constitutional law. I am not a lawyer. I've seen that job. I don't want it. Never have, never will. But I also feel that it's important that everyone have at least a basic understanding of the Constitution. Well, I didn't hear half of the news piece, so I asked my husband to fill me in on what was going on. So he did, and then after he gave me the basic rundown, oh, and hon, This is the section of the Constitution that is being applied, and what that means is, and I stopped for a second, and I let him finish, and I said, you do realize who you're talking to, right? You do know that I still have the capacity to understand a subject that I have spent a good 25, 30 years of my life studying. And I know he meant well. I know that. And I love him for it. The only thing is that it kind of triggered in my mind. How do I sound to people these days? Is the memory loss and the lack of ability to articulate my thoughts affecting how I communicate with others or the impression that I give out? It just got me to thinking. And I wonder, for other people that have suffered from strokes, do you get the same treatment? It's something that just has me wondering. Now, granted, I think in my last video I explained that part of the lasting effects of the stroke is that I can barely see anything, let alone, text, buttons to push to record videos, sending texts. I'm not good at it anymore. So I usually let my husband handle all that for me. And yes, I admit there are times when doctors explain things to me or somebody's explaining something to me and it's a little over my head, I will ask my husband to break it down for me. I actually have paperwork in to my lawyer's office to have my husband hold power of attorney on me. So that way he can be authorized to sign on my behalf and make decisions. I think it's a good move. I trust my husband 100%. He knows what kind of person I am. He knows how I feel about certain things that happen or that could happen. We are also getting an advance directive drawn up because, to be honest with you, I almost died when I had the stroke and the kidney failure. And honestly, I do not want any type of resuscitative efforts to be performed ever again on me. I took care of my mother for 10 years, from the time I was 10 to the time she died when I was 20 years old. I don't want to be a burden to anyone, ever. And honestly, I feel like I am a burden. I feel like I'm a burden to my husband, who does his very, very best to take care of me. I feel like I'm a burden to the caregivers that are sent in by the insurance company to help me with daily living tasks. I try to work with them and keep at least my upper body strong so I can help maneuver myself when I need to turn, or they need to change my bottoms, or give me a bath, or sit me up to eat, whatever. It just, if you knew me beforehand, maybe you would have a clue as to how this feels. I don't like asking for help, but I know that everybody needs help every now and again. It's just, to me, it's humiliating. It's humiliating that I can't go to the bathroom by myself. It's humiliating that everything I have to do centers around this bed. It's humiliating that when people find out that you've had a stroke or some other mentally altering disease, that might make you less of a person than you originally were. I don't want to be seen like that. I do not want to be seen like that. I used to love being out in the workforce. I loved helping people. I loved homeschooling my foster children. I was active in my church, the whole 9 yards. And it is extremely disheartening to see myself in the position that I am in. I'm trying to keep my spirits up, but it is so hard. I guess right now you could say I'm in between a light place and a dark place. And I feel like it's a tug of war to see which side's going to win. Some days the dark side wins, some days the light side wins. Who knows which side it's going to be today? All I can do is pray and hope for the best. And I know that, God, I believe that God is a merciful God, but I also believe that God is also punitive in nature sometimes. And I know I have not made the best life decisions as far as diet, exercise, lifestyle as a whole, and, things that I've done in my life. And the way I look at this is God's way of having me do penance for the bad decisions that I have made in this lifetime. And I accept it. I know I've done wrong, and I accept it, and I pray for forgiveness. And I'm doing my penance like a big girl. So, what else can you say? So, I think that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, the next video, I will be addressing some points that Naomi over at Naomi's Palace made on a couple of her recent videos. One about school choice, homeschooling versus charter versus public school, and about government assistance. I've recently gained a lot of experience with the government assistant programs. Anyways, hope everyone's having a good day. I hope you have a good day. And I will see you next time. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.